What's up there, you incorrigible bunch of fucking PP magnets? So, as I'm sure you've ascertained, it's been a little while since I've done a video. There's an incredibly good reason for that. I don't want to get into it right now because, well, you just know, you wouldn't understand it. Definitely has nothing to do with the fact that my cell phone case broke. Excuse me, with my magnet mount included. Definitely not that. So I'm going to attempt to take off here. Oh, that's a zoom. Is that what that is? I'm figuring out how this phone works. Oh, what? I can do fisheye? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you're getting that. Oh, you can see the whole hood. The truck in front of me here, not Trans Am, but this Borsap, is stuck. So as it turns out, this poor unfortunate soul, the lead axle on his trailer tandems doesn't want to spin. So I'm going to attempt to get out. I might not fit, and as such I might have to back into where I was and unfortunately sit for a while. But I think I should be okay. Yeah, I'm good. I got lots of room here. Yeah, so his trailer tandems are fucked, so he's kind of unfortunately stuck in the middle of the truck stop with you know, the unfortunate predicament of being a schmuck, you know, a sad sap, as it were, which unfortunately for him is well, you know, shitty. Fuck, this is kind of cool. It makes my hood look like it's 300 feet long, and you guys can see a little bit to the left of the truck for a change. It doesn't do a great job with the magnet mount, which, let's see if I can slide a bit. Go that way, that's what the best I can do. But I can also turn the camera a bit to the left, and that's not going to help. We'll just leave it where it is. I think that's kind of neat. We'll try that for this video. So yeah, I am in Sawyer, Michigan, getting ready to head back on the old super highway, the Dwight D. Eisenhower interstate system. I bet most of you fucking yahoos don't even know that. The interstate system was designed by Dwight D. Eisenhower. Holy! Yeah, because we're going to attempt to get to Canada and find somewhere to stop in the land of no internet and poutine, because I got no internet over there, so we'll just deal. So yeah, like I said, my OtterBox broke. You can break OtterBoxes, and it can be unintentional. The phone sits in my pocket until I use it. I'm not particularly violent or aggressive with it, and I, in fact, never dropped that phone. And unfortunately, just the OtterBox decided it had enough. And when I took it apart to clean it, and the front faceplate, which isn't even really the proper term for it, because they no longer have like a plastic lens on them anymore, it's just a shroud. The front plastic part actually split into two pieces. So it, you know, I probably could have gotten it to sit back together, but it was wearing out. The condom that wraps around the case was getting loose and floppy. It was making me feel inadequate, so I stopped here at Sawyer. I was gonna get food, right? Figured, okay, I'll grab some lunch, no big deal. And figured I would also get what's the word for it? Get a new OtterBox. So I talked to them and like, well, congratulations, Daniel. You are actually due for an upgrade because you've had that phone for almost 2 years. And, you know, you've never upgraded, so here you go. You want a Galaxy S10? I said, I sure as shit do. So they're like, all right, give us 2 full fucking hours to do the fucking paperwork and the transfer. You know, at that point, I'd already started spending money, had my fucking phone disconnected, so I had to fucking go through with it to get her all switched around and whatever. So now I have the hippest, newest phone in the universe, the Galaxy S10 Plus. So we'll see how this goes. I'm still filming in regular 1080. I think I was doing 720 before, but it's just the compression to try to like switch over to like YouTube's compression system is kind of weird, and I don't think it doesn't want to upload videos that are higher than 1080. I don't think. This camera can take 4K 60 FPS video. I'm going to try to see if I can find a way to get it to work, because 4K 60 FPS would be great. Fuck, I wouldn't need to buy a GoPro at that point, because this thing, it obviously already has a wide-angle fisheye, well, sort of fisheye lens, so you can see more. And it's also, you know, pretty good. I think I might have an idea too, actually. We're going to do this. We're going to stare at the ceiling for a minute, because I'm going to do a thing. It's going to be an impressive thing. You guys are going to be so impressed with this thing I'm about to do. Up. Look at that. Now I got to find a way to secure it. This might not work. I might have fucked up. Just saying. I might have fucked up and will inevitably film myself crashing into the ditch. Ah, fuck. Oh, well, whatever. We've already come this far, so YOLO, I guess, you know. All I need to do is give her a little twisty poo. Give her a little twisty poo. There we go. She's good and tight. Look at that. Fuck, now it's almost like you're up at eye height. I don't know. I don't know if that comes out any better. I can't aim the camera up anymore. What a joke. Okay. Let's try going down one notch. There's notches on this thing that I can do. Let's go down one notch. So I can point the phone up. Down a bit, so there, that's a little better. We'll go with that. Keep it down just a hair. I guess you're not really getting anything better. Oh well, I tried. It's a wide angle on the left side at least. Isn't that great, kids? That's all that matters. It's a wide angle left shot like that. So yeah, I got that stuff sorted. Right, got the new phone, got the thingamabobs. What the fuck does this do? Fucking go away. I want this dog to go away. I'm not making this dog go away. Let's change where the focus is. Oh, that's fucking weird. The phone's got 3 fucking cameras on it, so it's like goofy as shit. I hope that circle doesn't show up in the video. I'm assuming it will. Where was it? So yeah, got the new phone. Got a new magnet mount. Because the old one, well, the old magnet went with the old case that broke, and I was a bit of an idiot. I didn't realize that OtterBoxes have a lifetime warranty. I should have, but I didn't. So I unfortunately threw my OtterBox out. Don't do that. You can send it back and get a free new one from OtterBox. I could have done that, but on that flip side, I would not have discovered that I was up for a new phone. This was these cell phones are not cheap. This thing was $1,000. I didn't pay that, right? It's in the plan, but $1,000 for this fucking cell phone these days. So I guess not a lot new has happened. Let's see, I'm trying to think where I ran out of where my phone went, because I missed a couple trips. I went out to just south of Fargo, North Dakota for this run. That's where I'm coming out of. Unfortunately, said I did not have a case or anything while I was out there, so I tragically did not record anything out there. Not that it was particularly exciting anyways, but it was, you know, it was different scenery than what I've been kind of putting on these videos. Well, I shouldn't say that. I guess probably Nevada and stuff was more different, but you know, more different than this, I guess. Right. my videos are in this area, right? The Michigan, kind of Illinois, Indiana corridor. Which seems to be a place I'm going through a lot. So I gotta have a talk with my dispatch about it. Because my dad's been getting a lot of west stuff, and I'm not. And while I'm certainly not begrudging my dad those trips, the point of it all, you know, of the company's policy was supposed to be kind of everybody gets an equal crack at the Nevada stuff. So I got to start bugging them, say, hey, like, you know, where's my Nevada? Because I've done one, my dad's done two, and he did his after I did mine. So technically, while it's not, that part isn't really a huge deal. Technically, I should have been up for another trip out to Henderson before he was, but I don't begrudge him that, if, like, especially because I don't know that, okay, well, if I knew at the get-go that I was getting one a week after him, I wouldn't have cared. But I've been promised a bunch of Western stuff, but I haven't gotten any. And it's been promised to me because I've been helping out a lot with little rescue missions and stuff. You know, coming back from Henderson, I did 3 of these Franklin Park, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. I did 3 Franklin Parks in a row, and the Franklin Park loads, they don't pay particularly well at all. The people there are nice, the staff is great. For Chicago, it's very easy to get to. The problems are, A, they want scales in and out, and I guess they negotiated, they're very cheap, that's their big problem. So Franklin Park, it's a Nestle plant. Nestle negotiated not to pay for scale tickets. So I pay $13 to go there. I pay $13 when I leave, or, you know, 11, whatever your scale ticket averages out to. My company will reimburse me for it, but it's kind of frustrating that it's not, you know, Nestle hasn't gone and made a deal with a scale, and Nestle, well, I should say that, they might have made a deal, but they made a deal with the truck stop that's closest to them in Fort Walden. It's not the closest truck stop, it's the closest Flying J. And it is one of those tiny little hole-in-the-wall, shithole city truck stops that is a gas station that has diesel pumps instead of gas pumps. It is a corner gas station, right, that has like 4 diesel pumps, about 50 trucks parked in and around the parking lot, on the road, in the fucking shoulder. All, you know, the trucks are parked 3 rows deep in the parking lots. Anybody in the back row will not leave, ever. Once you pull into the truck stop, you are committed. You cannot get out at all. You have to go out the same way everyone else is, which is through the fuel islands and out the other side. So I pulled into the truck stop to go scale, discovered the very first time I went there, the very first time I did one of these loads, discovered that, okay, buddy, you need to move because I need to get in the left lane and you're making this difficult. How's about you go somewhere instead of sitting next to the drive tires of a semi-truck with your left blinker on? Fucking nuts. Where was I? So what was I going to say? It turns out that somebody had pulled onto the scale and immediately broke down. So I pulled into the truck stop, discovered that the scale was out of commission. And at that point I was forced to sit. I didn't need fuel. I had almost nearly full tanks of fuel. And I couldn't get fuel out of Flying J anyways. My company uses Love's. So I was forced to sit in line for about 45 minutes for the trucks in front of me to fuel before I could finally get out. And then leave and report that, you know, this was a wasted trip and I wasn't going there again. So I stop at the truck stops that I normally frequent on the way. Oh, buddy. Why? Why? There's nothing in front of you. What are you fucking doing? I shit you not. The camera, actually the camera does kind of pick it up. There's nothing in front of the guy. He just merged in front of me for the sake of merging in front of me here. Like, fucking people. On the right, let's see. Watch. Look at that, nothing. There's some trucks way up ahead. He went in the left lane because he didn't want me to pass him. That's what it was. We're very slowly gaining on the truck that's in front of us, but nowhere near fast enough for him to have done that, other than because he just... It's probably not like you said, oh, fuck, this guy's not going to pass me. It was, oh, shit, I'm going to next fucking week sometime catch up to this Target truck in front of me. Fuck, this asshole's probably going to be next to me when that happens. Let's get out there now so he can't, so that doesn't happen. And it's like, but you're fucking, let's just back the fuck out of it behind everybody. I'm not that big of a rush. Already wasted 2 fucking hours today getting this friggin' phone, so I guess it doesn't really fucking matter. Horsehead's gonna fucking run up his ass, so I should not be in the middle. I think I know why he did it now. It's because this right lane is rough. But, like, move to the right, let the guy by, and then go back into the middle if that's what you want to do. Like, I don't have a problem with people running in the middle lane, but move to the right when somebody's coming up behind you, because legally I can't get in that left lane, right? Now, again, if I was going faster than these guys, if the speed limit was higher than 65 mile an hour here, I would go around them. I would go in the left lane. But like when the right lane is open, like this, the guy sitting in the middle lane, the guy behind him wants to go. The tanker that blocked me and went to the middle lane is, I think it is across most of the U.S. now. He's breaking the law. Like you're supposed to travel in the right lane, and it's the right lane. It's not the right 2 lanes. It's not any lane but the left lane. It's the right lane. Right? I said I get the road is really rough here. It's not so bad for me because I got air ride front end, but the road, like, it's Michigan. The roads are bumpy, and I get that. But when you know there's a guy behind you, get to the right, let him around, and go back to the left. Right? The absolute only exception I will make to this rule, in my own headspace, and again, it's kind of irrelevant because everyone else will have their own ideas about what should happen, is if it's a very bad, there's been a terrible snowstorm or the plows aren't out, so the only lane that is really passable is the left lane. Right? At that point, yeah, me and everyone else will run the left lane. If you want to pass, you're the one that wants to go faster than everybody. You can go on the right and fucking deal with all the shit that's in the right lane. Right? I'm not going to drive into a shitty lane that is filled with snow or slush or ice or whatever because somebody wants to go fast in the one lane that is clear. Right? And that's an exception, and I understand that, and I respect that for both sides. I do it. I've seen other people do it. I don't fault people for that. But this is bare pavement, right? We're not talking a shitty, nasty weather situation here. This is just dry pavement. And the tanker, it is what you're seeing too, right? He's making it past this Target truck in front of me. And I will eventually have to move over and go around him too, but where he went around him, I mean, he's only just cleared, like, he hasn't even cleared the guy yet. He's ahead of him a bit, but he's still someone next to him. Right? He had a lot of time where he could have just been in his own lane. Or been in the right lane. He didn't need to go in the left lane as early as he did. Because now he's holding up traffic. We're holding up Boar's Head anyways. So it's kind of a shit show. I'm going to have to go to the fucking left because of this car. And again, there's a difference on this stuff between need and greed. Right? I moved over to the middle lane there to give the car in front of me room, which is not normally something you should do because guys take advantage of them a lot. But I had the room. I wasn't cutting anybody off. Yada yada. Versus I want the middle lane because it's smoother and fuck anybody else. But that's the attitude of a lot of drivers out there right now. It's just fuck everybody else. Right? What are you gonna do? Call my boss and complain? Oh, who fucking who? Right? It's like the internet. And I've said this before in like multiple videos, right? It's like the internet now. Like, guys think that there's zero repercussions, or guys basically think, I shouldn't say guys basically think, guys forget that there are still a lot of truck drivers out here who will pull over, who will fucking kick your ass, or who will follow you into the truck stop at night, or who will fucking run you off the road. And like, the running off the road one is pretty slim, right? I've heard of a couple, like in the news, like road rage accidents like that, but the truck stop thing is happening a lot, right? Or again, the whole fucking pull over, buddy, let's have a fucking conversation then. What you run into is also that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's kind of a troll mentality where a guy will chirp you until you say, all right, fuck it, let's throw down. And he says, no, I'm not fighting you. You fucking retard, you're a loser. And other than saying, all right, fuck this, I'm just going to hit him, right? Without it being like, quote unquote, mutual combat, in which case you're going to be, you know, you could potentially be in shit. All you can really do is ignore the guy. He's going to sit there and chirp you. And, you know, what are you going to do? I mean, I always remember, even though, and it was funny, don't get me wrong, but it was one of the skits from Jackass where Johnny Knoxville was, you know, bad grandpa. And he was, when he was with the kid, and he's out at like an outdoor kind of restaurant, whatever it is, and he's smoking a cigarette, and he gives the kid a cigarette. And a guy next door, or like next to him, like, gives him shit for it. Now, there's a couple of exceptions to that. The fact that, at least on the surface, you know, Johnny Knoxville is a fucking like 80-year-old man in that skit. But, you know, Johnny's making fun of him and riling him up. And the guy's like, you want to fucking go? And Johnny's like, I'm not good at food. You know, what the fuck do you say? He just teased him, right? Like, made more jokes. The guy made the stupid comment of saying you want to step outside, which, to be fair, and why it was fucking hilarious, they were already standing outside like it was an outdoor kind of bar thing. And Johnny's proceeded to make fun of him for being so stupid that he was asked to step outside when they're already outside. But the point is that, you know, again, I realized that was a skit. It's just the best example I've seen, like, on film. Johnny was riling the guy up, but refused to, basically refute, like, you're in a situation where I don't know, it's like a kid following you around making fun of you, and every time you turn to fucking swing at him, he runs away a little bit laughing, and then comes back and starts poking you and shit. Right? Like high school type of stuff. And again, I love Jackass. I loved it. I found that skit hilarious. Right? Because again, it's a goofy skater kid, and I used to be one, don't get me wrong. I fucking skateboarded a lot when I was younger. Asking an old man if he wants to step outside and fight when they're already standing at an outside bar and the guy is fucking 80. Right? I mean, you know, that whole situation is stupid. But that happens in reality, right? I mean, again, the internet's the best place for it. Guys will call you all kinds of names, and when you tell them to fucking, you know, nut up or shut up, I don't have to do nothing to you. Fuck you, you little homo, and they'll go back to making fun of you. And it's because they know that, especially on the internet, you can't do anything. I mean, you can do, there are certain, if you have the knowledge to track the guy's IP, figure out where he lives, do whatever, yes, you can do stuff. The average gamer does not have that knowledge, right? The average PC or console user does not have that knowledge, right? You know, again, so like guys that have been swatted as an example, it's usually somebody who is, I don't use the word hacker because it's not really the right thing here. It's guys that are able to trace your computer's IP and follow it back to where your address is, and it's guys that don't use a, I can't remember the name now. It's a software or even an application you can get that masks your IP. But a lot of, I mean, again, the average kid doesn't use that. So yeah, there are lots of guys that have been swatted or, you know, had people show up at their house and fucking cave their head in, and it's like, in trucking, it's kind of the same mentality, right? Like, you know, the same thing. Like let's say, and I'm not again. I think I know why Quality jumped in front of me there. He wasn't doing it because he was trying to be a dick. He's doing it because he didn't want to drive on the rough roads. And I mean, he was being a dick, but it's not like he was maliciously saying, "I'm gonna fuck this big truck over." He's just, fuck, I'm sick of waiting, sick of sitting here. I'm gonna get over there. I don't want to have to sit in the right lane while this fucking big slow-moving tanker gets around me, i.e. me. So he dodged in the left lane and decided that I could fucking figure out what I was gonna do. But if he were to call me a bunch of names, like, what can I really do, right? If he refuses, like, if I... if you want to come out back. If I were to, you know, say, hey, all right, pull over, let's go.
Company, you know if he still has that resort up in the UK?
Let's talk, right? All you do is say, no, I'm good, man. You're not worth my time. keep driving, but keep making fun of me. So then again, that leaves me with only a couple of options. I can either A, shut my radio off and ignore him, which in his eyes will give him the win. B, continue to argue back and forth with him, which will just make me mad, but he's having a field day, so again, it's a win. Or C, get around and run him off the fucking road and potentially kill him. None of those options are particularly fun, though obviously the last option has some severe problems associated with it. The first two are simply emasculated to you. The third one puts you in fucking jail. Probably best case scenario. Worst case, you fuck up and fucking die right along with the guy. So there's not really an ideal thing to do if a guy decides that he's going to run his mouth off, but stay physically just out of punching range, right? And again, it's a high school thing, right? You see it all the time, the high school kids and stuff, and it's typically somebody that's not big enough to actually be like the stereotypical bully and punch you in the face for your lunch money. It's the little skinny kid that maybe hangs out with the bully, or is just, I don't know, has his own problems and decides he's going to take them out on you because you're passive or whatever. Kind of flutters around you like a fucking annoying hornet, teasing you or poking you with a stick or something like that, and fucking running off. Like, again, unless you manage to catch him as he does, like grab him and actually, punch him in the head, he's going to continue doing it until you basically completely find a way to get away from him, which usually means, if you're out in the play park at school or something, it meant going and talking to a teacher, and basically you're the one that's probably going to sit in the principal's office because it's the only place you can get away from the kid, right? Especially if you're going in there and you don't have, the kid doesn't follow you in, so it's like the fucking singing frog from Bugs Bunny cartoons. Obviously he's not going to follow you in and start poking you and making fun of you right in front of the principal, so you don't really have any fucking proof. So the option would be, well, you can hang out inside and, so we can't prove he's bullying you. If you think he's bullying you, then it's up to you to get away from him and go find some way to be away from him, which usually means, you're no longer playing on the swing set, you're fucking staring at the fucking wall or some shit, mopping the floors because the teacher decides that you're fucking sitting around, you should be working. It's a bullshit scenario. I guess you can't really get away from it, so people suck, I guess. The amount of guys, like yesterday I was rolling through Chicago, the amount of guys that are just openly racist on the radio, or everybody's a faggot, everybody's shut the fuck up, and, two guys having a conversation, shut the fuck up, you fucking faggots. Like, it's always faggots. Truck drivers are super homophobic. But it's like, that stuff's always existed, right? That's always existed in trucking, even when I was a kid. But it's never been as prevalent as it is now, because now it's a lot of, again, I swear up and down it's people from my generation, right? It's people that basically grew up in the golden era of fucking Call of Duty, right? Modern Warfare 2 came out when I was like 17 or 16, something like that, maybe a little older. So it was like, no, I mean, I wasn't a lot older, I think I was like 20. So it was like geared basically right to me. The mentality of work smart, not hard had to come in. And trucking is a job where you've got to do both, right? And a lot of people actually almost did the opposite. They began, my generation was the ones that, I guess, how do I word this? If you look back, and it might be just because of movies that put a weird color on things, or like a weird skew on the actual numbers, but there were typically, there were several kids who were delinquents, and the rest of the kids were like pretty average or above average when it came to their academic progress or their academic skills. Where my generation was a generation that everybody went to wood shop class, and then auto shop class, and then like gym, And, you know, nobody really actually wanted to apply themselves in any way. And I'm just guilty of it, right? You know, I've been told I'm fairly intelligent. I've been mistaken for somebody with a university education, which made me laugh, but also felt really good. But I also squandered my education. Now, to be fair, in hindsight, there's not a whole lot else that I would probably end up doing. You know, I might have maybe gotten into theoretical physics because I have a huge interest in space. But that's not, like, that's, you know, again, it's a very, it's a job that depends on grants, private funders and government grants. You're not exactly making shitloads of money. You're doing the job because you love the research. That or paleontology, because I've always been a huge dinosaur fan. Right? I've always been very fond of the past, and I've always liked the idea of seeing just you're physically interacting with something that is, you know, millions of years old. I mean, to be fair, most of the non-man-made Earth you stand on is probably as old, if not older, in some cases. But, you know, the concept of picking up or examining, you know, what's left of a living creature from over 65 million years ago. Like, again, that's a concept of time that a human being just, that's a scale of time that a human being has no concept of. The same thing with space, right? You know, the concept of a universe, of how, is it infinite, is it finite, how would we ever see the end? You know, the fact that if, you know, again, like Einstein's theories of physics and theories of relativity basically dictate that nothing can move faster than the speed of light, yet the universe is expanding at faster than the speed of light. Right, so what does that mean? Well, that means that there are objects that are moving away from us so fast that the light that emitted from that object will never reach us, because it's moving away so fast that, you know, if it's moving away faster than the speed of light and it's emitting something at the speed of light, that object at the speed of light is effectively either standing still or actually still slowly dwindling away from us. I mean, I think they said, like, eventually light will reach us. But it takes infinitely longer than an object that is moving sunlight speed, right? And the idea that, you know, what's the universe expanding into? How does that work? What, you know, there's so many really amazing things when it comes to cosmology, or not cosmology, theoretical physics, that it's just,